What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by I'm Out of Breath, Front Yard Fantasy here on the Better Sports Network. Joining us today is our great friend Gladys Louise Tyler, along with the two co-hosts Joey and John Luke Garofalo. For those of you that do not know our friend Gladys, you've been missing out. You got to go follow her on Twitter right now at Gladys L. Tyler. She's a fantasy football writer over at Razzball and the host of the 2-Point Conversion podcast on Going for Two Live. Gladys, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, gentlemen, and whatever that is up in the corner, Joey CBS.
How you doing, baby? How you doing, baby?
Baby. Oh, bleh.
Yeah.
Never call anyone baby. Ever again.
I like the new your new Front Yard Fantasy design though.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Joey, how are you doing today? You look a little different. Oh, when he's so quiet,
he's just chewing gum. Maybe that's a Pete Carroll impression. Who knows?
Yeah, no. Live my best life. Had to hit the mute button there. Listen, I'm over at CBS now, having a blast over there. Backstage last night, real great after party. Met young Sheldon, real smart kid.
Sheldon.
I heard he's wild at all the after parties.
Is that where you learned to talk with the mute button on? Over at CBS in the
that's
backstage?
what I learned. Hey, good morning too. I took the wife down to the boutique with my new CBS check because they're not paying me peanuts there. It's real nice pistachios there at CBS, and I took her down to the boutique. Got a real nice jumpsuit. It says juicy right across the butt. Looks great. You'd love it.
Classy. JL, Gladys. Eventually, we're gonna have to break it to him that he's not with CBS, but just let him have it for this show.
Okay. All right.
You do it.
Joey, you know what? You're looking fly. You're feeling fly, and I can't fight against it.
Hey, baby, you're looking fly too. Everybody's looking fly.
Looking juicy.
You know what, guys? Listen, I don't got much time. I got my 2 watches on. I don't got much time today. So, everybody, have a great show. Yeah.
We'll talk to you later, Joey. It's amazing that he even took the time to come hang out with us little people up here after he hit it big time. But we got some people in the chat ready for today's show. Craig in the chat saying, good afternoon, FYF fam. Today's guest is making her 4th FYF appearance today. Approaching number 5. Gladys will celebrate the next time.
0-4 though.
Hey, today's game is a draft, and it all comes down to what the people think on who is the winner. We got Albert in here saying, hello, everyone. What's up, Albert? Glad to have you here. And Maria's hyped to see Gladys up here. Says Gladys is here today. Whoa!
Hi, Maria.
Scampers in here with the happy Wednesday, FYF fam. What's up, our favorite cat? And Craig, hyped to see Maria in the chat. We're all hyped to see Maria. Joey, welcome back. Did you go take a shower, rinse some of the pretension off?
Sorry, I'm late, guys. How's it going? Everybody doing okay?
Thanks for joining us, Joey. We got Victor in the chat with Hola, bro, Chachos, and Gladys. Shout out to Joey for being great last night in the CBS mock draft. Victor, appreciate you hanging out with us today and appreciate you showing up to show support last night as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dame stopping by in the chat. Say happy FYF hour to all who observe. Hello, friends. What's up, Dame? And the chat is just hyped to see Gladys in here. Scamper's showing some love for Gladys.
Yo, Cat, what's up?
We got Adam in here. What's up, Adam? Adam, I miss you. I miss your handsome face. Hello. Joey got big time in the 1 week I was away.
Need you here to reel me in, buddy.
Life comes at you fast. Also, Better Boss in the chat. What's up, Matt? Saying welcome,
Hey,
Gladys. Welcome, and glad to have you here.
Thanks, BB.
Guys, before we get into our show, there was a question from Grimfan in here about potential landing spots for Jonathan Taylor. We had news this week that he was unhappy on the Colts, that him and Irsay had it out at some point, and now he doesn't want to play there anymore. The 6 teams that have been rumored to be interested are the Dolphins, Bears, Cardinals, Jets, Patriots, and Buccaneers. And I'm going to throw the Colts in there as an option as well, because that's probably an outcome that he stays on the Colts. Gladys, I'll throw this to you first.
Okay.
2 questions. If you could pick any of these teams for him to be on, which one would it be? And then where do you think he does play this year?
If I could pick any one of those teams for him to be on, I would pick for him to go, for my fantasy purposes strictly, to the Dolphins, even though they had a really low, their rushing last year sucked really bad. But I think that McDaniel has no problem getting rid of the dead weight running backs that he has. If he can get Taylor or Cook there, and they will improve on the run game. Plus, when you have Hill and Waddle, I mean, it just opens up that run game. Why they were so bad in the run last year, I have no idea. They sucked last year on the run. But where I think he'll land, I think Irsay's just crazy enough to keep him on that team. I don't think Irsay's going to let him get away, or that's not even the term, because Irsay doesn't care, because if they die, the league is still going on. So I think that Irsay isn't going to trade him. He's not going to release him.
I'm with you.
Colts.
I'm with you. I think he stays on the Colts.
Yeah.
Joey, I'm curious. I think you're probably of the same opinion that he stays on the Colts, but which of these teams would you be most likely, or would you be most happy to see him land on?
I feel like this is going to sound weird, but I feel like the Cardinals, because I feel like they could build that offense around him and him being the key focus. So for fantasy, if I'm looking at these teams, if he goes to the Bears, there's already a huge like running back by committee there, big time. So, I mean, Jonathan Taylor goes there and he, supplants all of those guys. But the Jets, I feel like, Dalvin Cook's going to be there any day now. So for me, it's the Cardinals. If he ends up on the Cardinals, they can build that whole offense around him. I like that fit the best.
For me, it's the Cowboys.
The Cowboys. JL says A, B, C, or D?
Yeah.
E. I even added an E, and you took F.
S. I always take the S. Always find a way to the F.
Is this just a spite move towards all the Tony Pollard truthers out there that are finally
100%.
Celebrating that Zeke is no longer on the roster?
100%. I just want that plane to crash before we even get to the season.
Oh God, that would cause so many Twitter tears. But JL, you've suddenly
I'd just be there collecting them with my little basin.
Jonathan Taylor, if you're listening, my birthday's in about 2 weeks, and I would appreciate a signing with the Cowboys.
Please, thank you.
And that can be a belated present from me to JL for his birthday as well.
And I will accept.
We'll let it work. Guys, before we get into our draft today, which we are doing an NFL Field Day draft, I'll explain what that means in a little bit. A couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following our friend Gladys on Twitter, go and fix that right now. You can find her on Twitter at Gladys L. Tyler. It is right there below her face on the screen, or it's in the link to this YouTube video, whether you're watching on Front Yard Fantasy or at Better Sports Network. While you're there on YouTube, go and hit that subscribe button. It's the easiest way to show your support for what we're doing here. And that little notification bell will make sure you don't miss anything we're doing every day here at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, you might miss some things we're doing, but you won't miss anything we're doing on YouTube.
Yeah.
If it's on YouTube, you will see it. One more reminder for you guys. Today on the show, we are going to be giving away one free entry to the Real-Time Sports Fantasy Football Best Ball Championship. You can compete for a grand prize of $25,000. What we're going to do is throughout the show today, as we're doing our draft, I want you guys to throw your options for who you think would be the best in this field day. Give some reasonings. Whichever one we like best, you're going to get that free entry into the $25,000 Best Ball Championship. With that being said, I'm going to explain how this draft is going to work, and we're going to get started. The game today is an NFL Field Day draft. If you think back to your grade school days where you got out on the field and you played tug-of-war and you had relay races, that's what we're doing it, but we're doing it with teams of 5 NFL players plus yourself. You will be on that team. The competitions will be as follows, and all players will compete in all competitions. It is a team effort. You've got the water balloon toss, the classic spoon and egg race, and this is all these races are relay races where you have to balance a spoon in an egg. You've got the wheelbarrow race. Everyone knows what that one is. One person holds the legs of the other person, and you're running up and down. The sack race, like a potato sack, it's all about leaping. And then we've got tug-of-war. I don't think anyone needs an explanation for that one.
It's all about leaping? That's how you described sack race? It's all about leaping.
It's all about leaping. And, I am realizing the last time I did the sack race, I was mocked relentlessly. So I may not know how to potato sack race properly, actually. Tyson in here saying, I already know who I would take first of all. And Maria said, I would crush this. Except tug-of-war. Yeah,
no,
a little
Maria,
bit of size is necessary for tug-of-war.
You crush it, Maria.
Well, the order of this draft today, JL, I randomized it before the show. You've got the first pick. Gladys, you have the second pick. I've got the third pick. Joey has the fourth pick in this draft. It is snake, so it is going to go back and forth. We're going to go through 5 rounds of drafting here. Tell us who you take. Tell us why'd you take them. If you've got clarifications, that's okay. There is one rule. They have to be NFL players. That does not mean they have to be active NFL players, but it is at their current age. You are not drafting LaDainian Tomlinson at his prime. You are drafting LaDainian Tomlinson today, whatever he's doing. So you are going to draft these players in their current state. It can be current or former NFL players. And that's the only real requirement here.
Yo, LT could analyze this field day so hard. Modern day LT, my God.
He'd know it.
Whew.
Well, John Luke, you are up first. You know the events. You know all the players. Who are you going to add to your team?
I really hate going first on this one because there's so many competitions here and there's so many players. You guys didn't narrow it down at all.
There's 5 competitions.
There's 5. That's all of them. All right. So water balloon toss. It's like arm strength. Maybe what's my strategy here? Maybe I'm just going to go in and try. I'm not trying. Why are you guys trying to get me to tell you my strategy? I'm not giving you my strategy.
You're right. I was trying so hard to get the strategy out of you.
Jedi mind trick.
Jedi mind.
Jedi mind tricked Heath yesterday on the show into giving me the victory.
You did. Still know how you did that. All right. One part of me wants to go big.
Do it.
Literally. The other part of me wants to go agile. I think I'm going to go agile. I'm going to go with one of the most athletic NFL players we've ever seen. I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley as the first overall pick. JL, what about Saquon? Makes you confident to take him first overall here.
His quads, my calves. Wheelbarrow race.
Oh my God. JL, and honestly, only one of your quads or calves is going to come into play during the wheelbarrow race. One of you is going to be real lucky touching that part of the other one while you're holding them up like that. Either a lucky Saquon holding your calves or a lucky JL holding Saquon's quads. Before we move on to that next draft pick, I see NKC in here with the yo. What's up, NKC?
What up, NKC?
We also got Tyson in here saying, I already know who I would take first overall. Well, was it Saquon? And JL, before Gladys makes her pick, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Saquon now that he signed with his team. Are there any concerns remaining for his fantasy value this year?
Yeah, I think the Giants' offense potentially is a concern for Saquon Barkley. We've seen in the past, it's either been injury or it's been that system he's in, right? The offensive line not being strong enough to support him. Plays just getting blown up in the backfield constantly. And Saquon trying to make something out of nothing, which led to a lot of those injuries. So I think the Giants are a bigger concern to me for Saquon Barkley than maybe the immediate, well, the contract stuff's no longer an issue. But yeah, his team, hopefully his team can take a step up. I do have confidence in Dable. I do have confidence somewhat in Daniel Jones, and I think they'll be fine. But we got to keep an eye on that still.
Joey, do you agree with JL here? Do you have some concerns for Saquon, even though he signed with the Giants now?
I would say not a concern for when he's on the field. If he's on the field, he's one of the best running backs in the league. It's just the injury concern. Like if it comes back lingering, we'll see what happens. I don't think so. But yeah, Saquon for me, he's a top. I think I have him as my RB3 now. With all the Jonathan Taylor news and everything going on, I move Saquon up.
Maria said, I love field day too much. I really yell at my 5- and 6-year-olds each year. Nicely, of course. And One Nation Underground giving us some tips. Said we need soft hands for the water balloon toss. It's all about those soft hands.
True.
And Tim said, you're telling me I could make a team filled with ghosts? I mean, that's easy dubs. Or they could just be corpses, Tim. At which point that may not be as good of a team on field day. So you could get forfeits from every other team if you showed up with a team of 5 corpses and Tim. That'd be absolutely terrifying.
Water balloon toss would be pretty tough. You just build a wall of corpses.
All right. Well, Gladys, this is on to you. Jalen took his first pick with Saquon Barkley. Who are you taking in the first round?
Okay. So I went and I've done these things, but I wanted to know what the character traits or the athletic traits for each one was. And for most of them, it's physical strength and balance, coordination, concentration. So I've changed my mind for my first pick, and I'm going to go DK Metcalf because man has superhuman strength, soft hands, agile. You saw him run down the cornerback. He's got at least the only one I worry about him in is maybe none of them. DK Metcalf.
The only one I worry about him
Let
in
me
is
think.
none of them.
None of them.
None of them.
Tyson agrees with you here, Gladys, saying DK Metcalf,
Yes,
easy
Tyson.
top choice. Guy is a tank and would crush the Tug-of-War and also the
The
speed,
speed
races.
races. Exactly.
Yeah, that was a good
And
pick.
the thought of him, like, me, the wheelbarrow, that was like a predominant thought too. So
I
I'm
feel
okay.
like he will just drive you straight into the ground, because how could you possibly keep up with DK Metcalf
He'll just
in
sprint
either
slowly.
position?
Your head folds over and he's just driving you, holding your legs.
Exactly.
Your head
And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
Or
Let it
he's the
happen.
or he's the wheelbarrow, in which case your
Then-
wheelbarrow
then
has
we're in
like a
trouble.
rocket
Yeah.
thrust on the back of it, and you're just holding on.
You're airborne, just holding onto his legs as he handstands
Uh,
sprints across the field.
Exactly. And I'm okay with I'm here for all of that.
Either way, I don't know if you're making it out alive, Gladys.
We've already established via Tim that you don't have to be alive to be a winner.
Thank you.
True.
Um,
True. Add it to the wall of corpses.
Added to the wall of corpses. This has gotten real dark real fast. Gladys, are you in on DK Metcalf this year? Or does the arrival of JSN concern you for his fantasy output?
The rival of JSN concerns me for his fantasy output. And I think that Geno Smith is in for a slight regression. Actually, what worries me more is the rival of Charbonnet. But, of course, both the running backs are hurt now, so maybe not. If both running backs make it into, like, past preseason and are able to play, then they worry me more than JSN. But if they don't, then I think it's all going to be a passing game.
Joey, are you in on DK Metcalf this year?
He's a spoon.
I am. A league that Gladys and I are both in. I took DK Metcalf, I think, in the 4th round. He is right outside my top 12 wide receivers. The arrival of JSN doesn't concern me as much for him as it does for Tyler Lockett. I think all 3 of them will be fine in fantasy this season, but I'm still okay on DK.
Still okay on DK. Well, that is our first 2 picks here. Mr. Scamper's coming in. He might have a weakness because DK Metcalf apparently has a fear of spoons.
Wow.
Spoonodecaphobia, I believe, is what it's called, if I'm not mistaken. Victor in here says whoever takes Rodrigo Blankenship wins Tug-of-War, at least from the safety perspective. He is not getting an eye poked out during that match. That means it's my pick here. And Gladys, I'm going to be honest, I'm tilting a little bit because I was fully planning on taking DK Metcalf with that first pick. He was the perfect Tug-of-War anchor, like big enough to be an anchor in Tug-of-War, but still fast enough to not hold you down in the other events.
Thank you.
I think what I'm going to do here, though, is I'm just going to win Tug-of-War and grab a guy that is fast enough not to ruin my team in the other regards. And I'm going to take left tackle Trent Williams of the San Francisco 49ers. He has the size, strength, and speed to absolutely destroy every other team in Tug-of-War. But I know he's going to be probably the weak link on my team in some of these events. I'm not even sure he can fit inside a potato sack. But I do think he's fast enough and has enough mobility that he will not sink my team. I need to build the rest of my team carefully around him for those other events to make sure that this doesn't tank me. But Trent Williams will be unstoppable, and he's mobile enough on his feet. Got that quick footwork that I don't think he's going to ruin it in the race categories.
That's a good pick.
I like that pick a lot. Mm-hmm.
I don't know how we're going to pull Trent Williams into the middle.
I don't know, with Aaron Donald, maybe.
I just feel like most of my teammates are going to be doing most of the work.
It's
their problem solved.
Us in there during Tug-of-War.
I'm just riding along with it, you know.
It's like you on the bunny hill ski rope that just pulls you up the hill slowly.
Oh man, we lost.
I mean, we got all sorts of suggestions coming in the chat as well. John Luke, before I move on from Trent Williams, I wanted to ask you about this 49ers backfield, specifically Elijah Mitchell. He was a 0 RB sweetheart whenever he got the opportunity, but then he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And of course, they added Christian McCaffrey. Are you interested at all in Elijah Mitchell for fantasy this year outside of a backup? Does he have fantasy value outside of CMC's backup?
No, he is the backup value on that offense. If Shanahan somehow utilizes him in a way that is fantasy relevant and CMC isn't injured, it's going to be a different 49ers team than I'm imagining. So, no, I think you got to treat Elijah Mitchell exactly like you treat Alexander Madison of years past. He's a backup running back. You get him later in the season, but factor that into your strategy. Take him as a backup.
Take him as a backup. Joey, are you in agreement with John Luke on how to handle Elijah Mitchell this year? Or do you have a little more?
100%. Yeah, no, 100%. He's a backup. Bye week fill-in at best. I wouldn't be surprised if later on in the season, San Francisco is making a push and they give Elijah Mitchell a little bit more work. And towards the end of the season, we see him have a few good games to kind of save Christian McCaffrey for the playoffs. But outside of that, I'm not really drafting him unless I have McCaffrey, then I will.
Have you considered that I love him?
He was actually on my list, to be honest with you, Simon. He was on my list. Oh, wait, no, not Trim Williams. Shoot. Crap.
Elijah Mitchell.
Man.
Is it a good list or?
All right. Well, Joey.
Yeah. It could have been any list.
Depends which list you're talking about.
Grocery list?
Joey, it is
my
your
list
pick.
of players I have. Right.
And you've got 2 picks here.
NFL players.
Who's the first player you're taking?
My first player I'm taking is I thought he's going to get taken.
Don't do it.
Described as the most athletic person to ever compete in the combine is Anthony Richardson for the Colts. What?
Just your love knows no bounds. First round pick.
Oh, it doesn't.
Rookie quarterback who's never played a snap.
And with his second pick, he'd like to take Samaje Perine.
Jail, don't run my show. Don't make me bring that other guy back. You won't like him. Is that like my Hulk? Is that what happens? I get angry and I turn into that guy.
You turn into Joey CBS.
It's Joey CBS. No, Richardson's super athletic. I think of back to field days when I was in elementary school, and Anthony Richardson was the kind of kid I was losing to every single time. They made a special ribbon, like the 4th place ribbon, just for me because of people like Anthony Richardson. He's just athletic in every aspect of being an athlete. Yep.
Are you expecting that to translate to fantasy success this year?
Yeah. I do, and I think without Jonathan Taylor there, we could expect 3,000 rushing yards out of Anthony Richardson this year. No, I just think his upside's a little bit higher. He is really risky, and I completely get that. But he has everything you would want in a prototypical quarterback for today's NFL. And he just needs the right coaching staff, which I think was Shane Steichen. I think he's the perfect coach to coach him up to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And if he becomes that, I don't want to miss that. So, yes, I'm a little high on him, but there's a reason why.
It makes sense. We got some people in the chat giving some advice. Joey, before your next pick, Craig's saying, make sure you think about IDP and special teams players too. Tons of great athletes there as well.
Yep.
Also, I see Scott Fish popping in the chat saying Gladys and I were writing awesome content at FF Oasis when JL was still in
diapers, which was like yesterday. But
that was yesterday. How did you know that, Gladys?
Did Maria tell you?
Maria did tell me.
I had to go to the urgent care. I had a little issue.
Couldn't get the diaper off.
Could not. Tied too tight.
You know what? And I'm just going to drop the names that people think are great picks in here instead of saving them to the end. Feel free to take them if you want. Maria thinks Justin Tucker would be a great partner in both water balloon and egg race.
Oh, can you imagine getting kicked or like hit by a water balloon that was kicked by Justin Tucker?
He just goes to punt it and it explodes on the very first time. You're like, oh, no, bad. He just looks down sad, like when a dog bites a dandelion and it disappears.
My dog did that yesterday.
It's a classic dog move.
No,
where the hell did that go?
Such a good analogy. Oh my God.
One nation says Jamar Chase, soft hands, extremely strong. And I like that we've picked
that out of context.
I like that we picked a game here that requires people to consider who has the softest hands. Joey, Joey, where are you going here next?
I think my next pick is going to be Aiden Hutchinson for the Detroit Lions. He's massive, and it's scary how fast and how hard he hits. And while we're not going to be hitting, maybe we will hit during the wheelbarrow race. That'd be kind of funny to see. I want somebody else for Tug-of-War as well to just have some power there. And I think Aiden Hutchinson would be perfect. And he's young too. Needs to be young guys.
He strikes me as the type of guy that would just get entirely way too into field day. just like really needs to settle down, getting overly violent.
I think my next guy is also going to get way too into field day. I took the player that made the most sense given the games, and now I'm taking one that I just think put him in the sunshine with a cooler of beers and a bunch of people playing yard games. There is no one that I think will outcompete Gardner Minshew. Built for field day, baby. I know he's not going to be too much help in Tug-of-War, but every other game, the competitive drive, the bandana that he will surely be wearing out on that field, my team will have more hype than any other team with Gardner Minshew rallying everyone around him.
And he'll do the whole thing in jorts, which is the best part.
Gross.
And well, he'll do half the thing in jorts. The other half, he needs to get that full range of motion for some of these events.
No jorts in the sack race.
No jorts in the sack race.
I have a question, Simon.
Yeah.
Can I draft Tim to counteract your Gardner Minshew?
Is Tim an NFL player, or has he ever been?
I don't know that we can say for sure.
If you can find proof that Tim was or is in fact an NFL player, you can surely draft him. Otherwise, he is ineligible for this.
Okay,
show.
I'm on it. I'm on it by the end of the show.
Okay, 5th round pick, John Luke Garofalo, Tim Wright.
Quick, send me proof.
All right, Gladys, we are back to you. You started the draft with DK Metcalf, stole him from right in front of me. Where are you going here?
Okay, this pick, I'm going to go. I don't know if he's going to be really great in the water balloon toss, or actually the egg spin race. Hold on, maybe I'll change. No, I'm going to go, and I don't know how to pronounce his name the right way, I don't think, but the offensive tackle for the Eagles, Jordan Mailata.
Jordan Mailata for the Eagles.
Mailata, offensive tackle, who also is a former rugby player.
Oh.
6'8", 365 pounds.
He's going to be ripping off ears out there.
Exactly. My team is built for strength, baby.
Rugby players go way too hard.
Yep, that is what I'm counting on.
Yeah. I went to one rugby party my time at Clemson. Did not stay. Was just there to visit.
Did not stay.
And I will.
The second sentence.
Those guys are wild. And girls. Shout out to the rugby girls as well. It wasn't just the guys being crazy out there.
And he has a beautiful singing voice too. What? My team's all around. Thank you, Scampers.
Who needs Justin Tucker if
you
can get my lot of singing on your team?
Thank you.
His son.
All right, Joey, that puts you back on the clock here. No, it doesn't.
No, it
JL's
doesn't.
back on the clock.
It's
with
me.
2 picks.
Third
John,
round reversal?
Where are you going to go?
Oh, man. All right. I got 2 players that I thought would get taken before now. First one I'm going to go with is Derrick Henry.
Great pick.
Yeah, it feels a little chalk, but I also just don't want Derrick Henry to be the last one left because I feel like he would be mad about that. And I feel like we're all going to suffer if Derrick Henry's mad about that.
Well, now I'm sitting here looking at your team, and I'm sad that Derrick Henry is going to be at this field day and not be on my team. Like, that's a really sad prospect to think about. Like, that feels like an advantage for whatever team he's on.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the second pick I'm going to go with here, I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. The water balloon toss. Good luck finding where those balloons are coming from. Be coming from every angle, every corner of the room. You won't even know it. It's probably curving it like that Wanted movie.
I understood that reference.
I did too. Great.
I did not. I don't see movies.
Curve the bullet.
I think the one concern with Patrick Mahomes and the water balloon toss is just the sheer velocity that those balls or balloons are going to come out of his hand.
Might pull a brick.
It's
kill a guy.
Either going to kill a guy or, as water balloons do, pop. It might pop whenever it hits the other person's hands. But we were watching quarterback the other day, and my girlfriend just looked up and was like, that's got to hurt to catch one of those passes. He's grabbing that like machine that just torques his shoulder around. It's like, I can't imagine catching something that's on the other end of that shoulder strength.
But I specifically picked Patrick Mahomes here because as far as quarterbacks go, I don't think he's one that has to throw tough every time. He's known for these soft, short range passes, these little jump passes into the end zone or shovel passes, Simon's favorite. Patrick Mahomes is that guy. He's going to make a way. If that the first time a balloon breaks in his hand, he's adjusting. He's got new ways to hit you.
Joe, you just made me realize I've never once been upset about a Patrick Mahomes shovel pass, whereas every other player that's ever done it, it makes me mad every time. And I think it's because he can do them.
His tongue out.
He can just do it. Stick that tongue out. That ball's going wherever he planned on it. Carson Wentz, stop trying the shovel pass. You're not
Put your
Patrick
tongue back
Mahomes.
in your mouth, Carson Wentz.
No one wants to see that. All right. Well, jail so far definitely has the best fantasy team. We'll see if it's the best field day team. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes, Gladys. It is back to you to add to your team of DK Metcalf and Jordan Mailata. Who's going to be player number 3 on your team?
Okay, so this player in his current state is slightly injured. So I got him mainly for the water balloon toss and maybe the egg spoon race. I already have the guys to anchor my physical. And he has a 68.2% accuracy rate. Okay. So Joe Burrow is going to be on my team for his accuracy and for his water balloon. And then, he'll everything else will just put him in the back.
To be honest, Gladys, the cigar smoke might distract you a bit while you're competing.
Well, I'm counting on him coming in.
Wheelbarrow Race, you're just going to be getting like a chimney right in your face with that cigar.
No, we've already decided that I'm with DK on the Wheelbarrow Race, and I don't care what happens. I don't care if I'll come on that one. We're okay.
Jordan's holding Joe. Gladys and DK are together. Jordan's got Joe's legs.
Exactly.
Joe's hands might not touch the ground with Jordan Mailata holding them up.
Put me down.
His fingertips might just barely scrape the ground in that one.
Touching grass.
Gladys, this Bengals offense this season. Last year, I feel like we saw Jamar Chase maybe separate himself from T. Higgins a little bit. How high do you think the ceiling is for a player like T. Higgins, who's the wide receiver 2 in that Bengals offense?
Are you asking me this because I'm a Steelers fan and you want to see me cry on the show? Is that what's happening? Because if you want to see me cry, just keep asking crazy questions like
keep
that.
Asking how great. Gladys, how great is that Bengals offense? Just look how much fun it is.
Cry. Do it now.
To be a team
I can't. They're really great.
Gladys, as a Browns fan who has streamed with Ravens fans during the Lamar Jackson era, it's been brutal. I just get to watch one of the division rivals have so much fun while I'm sitting there like
the most fun.
God.
I wanted to feel bad when he hurt his calf, and then I was like, why? I don't feel bad about that.
He's living the life.
And he might not play.
Joey, what ceiling would you put on T. Higgins for this season as the second wide receiver there, assuming health from Jamar Chase?
He has been the line for me for my tier 3 of wide receivers. I think he has every opportunity to move up into tier 2. I just don't think he's in that league with, say, CeeDee Lamb and even like Jalen Waddle, who's technically a wide receiver 2, but he could become the wide receiver 1. So I think Higgins is outside the top 12 wide receivers, but not far outside of it.
Oh, you were talking about Higgins. I thought you were talking about Jamar Chase when you said tier 3, and I was like, what the fuck? They put you on CBS?
No. I know. That's what everyone was saying. They put this guy on CBS.
What? Jamar Chase 3?
I don't know.
What's happening? Okay, I feel better now about it. Now I can see why.
We're going to move on.
T. Higgins, right, Simon?
I said T. Higgins.
Okay, good. Okay.
I was still with Jamar Chase. I'm sorry. That's all me. That's all.
No worries.
No, it's Joey's fault.
Jamar Chase is tier 4 for me.
I see some people in the chat. NKC asking about becoming a mod. We are not currently looking for any new mods in the chat, but appreciate the interest, NKC. Thanks for asking. And I see Tabitha stopping by as well. What's up, Joey's mom? Welcome.
Speaking of mods.
She said, hello, guys.
Of my life.
Thanks,
lovely lady.
Thank you.
Moms are the best.
All right. I guess that puts me back on the clock.
Yeah, it does.
Guess so.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to take the fastest linebacker to ever play the freaking game in Micah Parsons with this next one. We want some speed and an absolute beast on the field, the tenacity to go after it like he does. Plus, just there's not many players. There's never been a player of his size that runs as fast as he does. And the agility, I think, comes in handy in all of these relay races. Every single one of them, there's turns involved. You got to be able to turn at the end, right? Yeah. To give it to your teammate. At least I assume so. So I think Micah Parsons is going to add a lot to this team. Maybe make up for some of the speed that Trent Williams is lacking while still ensuring
Great.
that we're winning that tug-of-war match. No one's beating my team at tug-of-war, even with Gardner Minshew on there.
My team's definitely not winning tug-of-war.
I don't know. Gladys's team is maybe competing with DK and Jordan up there.
Yeah, and you haven't seen my next pick. That might be the only thing we win, actually, and I'm okay with that.
Just the tug-of-war.
Just the tug-of-war, because after the wheelbarrow, I'm going to be spent anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Too tired to go home.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do one event. Grab a beer or a White Claw and head on back to watch the rest of the events
or
unfold.
White Claw.
I'm grabbing the White Claw. I don't know who's
That's
having a beer
prefer.
out there on the hot summer day.
Oh my God.
I guess you could get a wine spritzer as well, whatever. Floats.
Let's just do a shot of bourbon and call it a day.
Okay, not me. You can do that one with your
Fine,
wheelbarrow
let's just do
partner.
a shot of Everclear, and then that's it.
And then we're done.
And then we're good.
All right, Joey, you're back on the clock.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm looking at my team, and I like my team. I like my competitors here, but I need some personality. I need someone to hype my team up. But I need him to also be athletic. I'm going to take Travis Kelce. I think personality there, he's going to get us across the line. And then, he's strong. So tug-of-war, I'm really trying to win this tug-of-war now because it was said that someone's just going to win it no matter what. So now I'm going to try to win that.
So you realize that all I have to do is get 3 or 4 girls, Instagram influencers in bikinis to walk by Travis Kelce, and you're done. Done. So, I already have a strategy for that. That's all it takes.
That's all.
Easily distracted.
I know, but
a few $100.
Are you allowed to
and
draft
access to Instagram?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Now what do you?
I think we can get him to focus for the day. My next guy,
No,
I'm going to take
over here.
I need someone to some good thick thighs to get tug-of-war, get low. I'm gonna take AJ Dillon, the quad master.
He does have some
To
good
combat the quads from Saquon on JL's team.
Yep.
Everyone's gonna be staring at those quads, and then all of a sudden AJ Dillon's just gonna
Ba-dum.
pull his shorts legs up and be. I like Gladys.
Ba-dum.
He's just gonna walk up and say "Badong."
Ba-dum.
Check it out, Dylan in the house.
Seeing
Badong.
guys like this.
Badong.
Also, Maria said Gladys speaks the truth about Travis Kelce.
Thank you. Yes.
Joey, what's going on with AJ Dillon? He had so much hype going into last year that he was going to take over the rushing work in that offense, and then just was
What happened?
was awful. Are you expecting more of what we saw last year in that offense, or does AJ Dillon take that step forward we predicted last offseason?
No, he's moved down further. I think Aaron Jones is the real deal, and I think Green Bay saw that last year. They can depend on him. So I think just by default he moves down. I'm high on Aaron Jones. I've got him as a top, 12 running back.
So AJ Dillon not doing much there. Gladys, you agree on Joey's
Assessment.
diagnostics, assessment, prognostication on AJ Dillon?
I agree on his prognostication on AJ Dillon. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I want to be excited. I want to draft AJ Dillon. I just can't get excited. It was so awful watching him just not get the work that it was assumed he was going to get last year. All right.
I think if Jordan Love does have a bad start to the season, though, you could see Green Bay really lean into the run where AJ Dillon would get more work. But I don't think Jordan Love's really going to fall on his face too much.
Victor out here said Travis not doing anything, just staring at models and AJ quads.
Yep.
And Mr. Scammer said Travis just staring at Dillon. Yeah, the entire time.
Dylan's like stop. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Travis and Dillon are paired together for the wheelbarrow race for sure.
I truly believe that we can get him to focus for 1 minute because these events aren't long, and then he can reap the spoils
trailing
afterwards.
Gladys is going to be trying to put models on the sideline, and Joey's going to have a separate team pushing them towards the end of the race.
They're all trying to herd cats.
We have a second draft after this that's just the distractions for the other team.
I'll draft Cole Beasley next, and then no one will want to get near my team. So
Not even your own team.
no, okay.
Oh, what do I want to do with this next pick? I grabbed some speed, but not someone that's just known for elite speed. But we also need someone who can change direction on a dime, and maybe someone who would be more willing to be hyper competitive in an environment like this because they don't see the field much in the hyper competitive format. I'm going to take another Cowboys player here. I'm going to take their kick returner, Kevontae Turpin, with my next pick. The dude is unbelievably fast, had more punt and kickoff returns for touchdowns in college than anybody I can remember in recent memory, and is just one cut away from taking multiple to the house this past season. If you doubt this pick, go watch his kick returns this year and just see how that dude can cut on a dime. No one is making that turn during the egg and spoon race faster than Kevontae Turpin during this matchup. And he's got the chemistry with Micah Parsons. Know what I mean? Get a little bit of that same team chemistry going on. I probably could have waited to the last round, but I wanted to make sure to secure my agility guy here.
You did.
And the silence says, awful pick, everyone. And it's like,
I'd love to see Kevontae Turpin in the Tug-of-War. Can't wait to see that.
That's okay. I got Trent Williams and Micah Parsons. We are fine there. Yeah, he's not going to be very helpful in Tug-of-War. That's my pick. Gladys, it is back to you. Who are you taking with your next pick?
I am taking Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald.
Yeah,
that's a good pick.
Big guy.
Good value pick too.
I just ran. He ran a 4.68 at the combine. Of course, it was like, I don't know, 100 years ago. Still fast though. I think he still has the speed. Like, he hasn't lost that much. Aaron Donald.
I think he was like PFF's highest graded defensive lineman for the however many years he's been in the league long. Like, just every year, even whenever you think, oh, maybe Chris Jones took it over this year. Oh, maybe. Nope. You pull it up. It's just Aaron Donald again.
Aaron Donald.
Just quietly being the most dominant big dude in the league. Also, Tyson in here said that sure was a pick, Simon. And then Gladys won.
Gladys won.
Oh, Tim.
I'm playing.
You got the same color circles and the T in there. It's very confusing when you guys are next to each other. And the chat, I saw Damon here earlier saying, how is Aaron Donald still on the board? Tyson also saying, how is Aaron Donald still on the board? Gladys, that's going to be a chat favorite with that pick.
Yeah. I'll take it.
John
How
Luke,
does Aaron Donald do with the influencers? Is he susceptible to him, or is he pretty focused?
No.
Seems like he's probably focused.
Yeah, he's focused.
I feel like he's always got that smile.
Good try, Joey. Not gonna work.
I don't know. Yeah.
I also don't know if I'm winning Tug-of-War anymore. Looking at that team.
Carter
Minshew and Kevontae Turpin are not doing so well in the Tug-of-War.
Trent Williams really has to. He's got to beat out like 5. Basically, got to carry the entire team on that one.
He's carried an entire offensive line multiple times, so hopefully he can keep that up. John Luke, you are back on the clock. What are you doing here? Dame's saying Aaron Donald is all about that trophy, so he's going to be focused.
Competitive.
Scamper's saying he'll also save your life.
I would most want JL's team in fantasy. If I could pick any of the 4, I would want his team.
Well, that's not this competition, Joey.
I know. I'm just saying. I was giving you a compliment.
That's saying nothing.
You mean you don't want my team with a left tackle, a backup quarterback, and a kick returner?
Joey's like, wow.
I feel like if I needed to buy a pack of 6, I would come to your team.
Thanks. Simon's team.
And it's just Gardner Minshew. He's selling them loose.
He's selling them loose. He sells everything loose.
He grew his own tobacco in the back of his bus that he parked outside of a Planet Fitness.
You want some Skittles? Reach in my pocket.
All right, John Luke, you're on the clock, and you've got 2 picks here. You're going to wrap up your team with these 2 picks, so make them count. Who's going to be first?
All right, my first one is the only player in the NFL who I've had an actual field day with. I'm going with Stephon Diggs. I'm not sure what specific competition he's going to help me with, but I feel like this general athletic strategy is going to pay off for me given the choices of my opponents here. So give me Diggs.
Someone forgot to tell JL this wasn't a half PPR league. And he just keeps going like, what the hell? Stephon Diggs in the 4th? This is crazy.
And with my last pick, I'll take CMC. I can't believe he's there. This is incredible. This is the best day I've ever had.
With the Stephon Diggs pick, I do think you get some of that chemistry between you and him. You guys got history. So he's not just stepping in. You got the rapport. maybe some of that best friend magic that he's got with Josh Allen will show up with you.
Probably not, but I hope.
Or he's going to punch you in the stomach for beating him in a sit-ups competition and telling everybody.
He's gonna be like,
about
I
it.
remember that.
I heard you say it on your podcast.
All 150 times. All right. My last pick. I'm tempted to go Jalen Waddle, but I'm not. I'm gonna go with Jalen Waddle's. This guy has nothing to do with Jalen Waddle. I don't know why I brought him up. I'm gonna go with Dexter Lawrence as my last pick.
What a pick!
I need a big guy. Give me a big guy.
And that big guy's scary, and that big guy's young, and that big guy's ready to go. I love that pick, JL.
I'm just recreating different parts of my life here. different eras from my life. High school, college, after.
Joey, it's still not your turn.
Like, I would understand it, but yeah, I'm like on the other side of the board, Simon.
Nope. And your name looks nothing like Gladys's, but it is Gladys's turn. Gladys, wrap up your team here. DK Metcalf, Jordan Mailata, Joe Burrow, Aaron Donald, and who is player number 5 rounding out your team? Sorry, player number 6, because Gladys is on this team as well.
My Homer pick, because of his soft hands and 6'3", height and speed, is a wide receiver, George Pickens.
George.
Dang.
Pickens.
I did
Soft
not expect
hands.
George Pickens to get drafted in this draft.
I always do the unexpected.
Over
I kinda
fellow
like it.
Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Here's where George Pickens is going to come in clutch for you, Gladys. Somebody, probably Joe Burrow, is going to drop the egg. And George Pickens is going to come out of nowhere and catch it before it hits the ground.
Thank you.
Save the day.
And save the day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a great pick.
And I guess you wouldn't want to pick a wide receiver that has the word drop in his nickname for a water balloon contest.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not your best bet. Gladys, you think George Pickens takes over as the top target in that Steelers offense this year, or is it still Deontay Johnson?
I think Deontay Johnson will be the top target. I think George Pickens is the better fantasy. I think he'll have more touchdowns. More touchdowns and probably more yak. So, but I think that Deontay Johnson will be the top target. So if I was playing PPR, I'd go Deontay. If I wasn't, I'd go Pickens.
Makes sense. I'm back on the clock here.
I don't know how you're going to follow up with Devontae Turpin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's real tough now that
Tariq Cohen.
You know what I'm going to do?
He's available.
I'm taking a guy who, yes, is strong. Yes, is fast. Yes, is athletic. But I'm not taking him for any of those reasons.
Of course not.
I'm taking him because he's
Why would you do that?
Because he's a leader. Okay, and this team needs a leader, needs someone to rally behind.
You're not the leader?
No, I am not the leader of this team. Look at those names. You think they're going to look at 5'10" of my ass and be like, yeah, that's our leader. No, they're going to look at all 6'5" of Jalen Hurts and make him the leader of this.
That's a good pick.
He's going to be the team captain, and I think he's going to be great at every single one of these events. Yeah. Sure, I can name people who are better at Tug-of-War, but I'm not sure there's many players in the NFL that would place as highly in all 5 of these events while keeping the structure of this team together and keeping us focused on that goal better than Jalen Hurts.
I don't know if you've made a good pick or a bad pick because you've once again put Gardner Minshew behind Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Will how will Minshew react? Will he be a good team player?
Yeah,
or
considered their emotions?
You think Minshew's bothered by that at all? He's on another plane of existence. Backup quarterback is a word that doesn't even mean anything.
He has
to him.
no idea where he is or why he's here.
He's the first string behind Jalen Hurts is what he is.
Yeah. That's
He's
he's
the morale captain. Jalen Hurts is the leader captain.
He's the co-quarterback.
He's the assistant to the regional quarterback. All right. Well, Joey, we've got one more pick here to wrap the draft up. Who's it going to be?
Phillip Rivers. Would you like me to explain?
No,
it
you're
does
going to get him to bring all of his
babies.
Kids.
Exactly.
We know your plan.
Well,
see right
there's
through you.
there's one event that none of us have talked about yet, and that's the sack race. And Phillip Rivers has 10 kids, so I guess he must be good in the sack. There you go. Thank you. I've been sitting on that for an hour, and I can't believe I've held it together.
Joey's been sitting on Phillip Rivers' sack for an hour, but finally was able to get it out.
Finally realized where he was.
Oh my God. I know the chat is going
Gardner
to be
Minshew just happened to be there as well.
the fact that we got through 5 rounds of this draft where 3 of the events are races and nobody drafted Tyreek Hill is really pissing the chat off. Tyson in here saying Tyreek Hill should have been up there.
He
One
would drop the
Nation
egg immediately.
Tyreek, come on.
Yeah.
No, you don't think that egg's making it out of a Tyreek Hill egg
Not a
race?
chance. Not
I
a
had
chance.
I had a whole list of like most carries from running backs without fumbles, but I wanted to make the Phillip Rivers joke. I could have.
Tyreek Hill might be fast enough that he gets to the other end and back before the egg hits the ground, though.
This is true. He is a cheetah.
He can just sprint and come back, and the egg's right where it started. All right, well, guys, we have our teams here. We'll put these up on Twitter for you to vote on. JL, your final team: Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes, Stephon Diggs, and Dexter Lawrence. Honestly, it's shaped up a lot better than I thought it was going to at the beginning. I feel good about it.
The hell?
Gladys. Well, it looked like you were just building a fantasy team up there. Gladys with DK Metcalf, Jordan Mailata, Joe Burrow, Aaron Donald, and George Pickens.
Ooh, that's solid.
I went and drafted Trent Williams, Gardner Minshew, Micah Parsons, Kavontae Turpin, and Jalen Hurts. And then Joey wrapped us up with Anthony Richardson, Aiden Hutchinson, Travis Kelce, AJ Dillon, and Phillip Rivers.
Cowboy columns for everybody.
What happened on the right side of the board? Y'all roasted me for picking a fantasy team. Pick the practice squad.
Hey, special teams is not the practice squad. Give them the love they deserve, JL.
My bad.
So Dame down here said Mostert is fast, but he'd get injured. And Tim, letting you know, Minshew is the party coordinator on the cruise, and Jalen is the captain.
There we go.
That's exactly how it works. Well, guys, that is it for our draft. But some of you guys were throwing answers in the chat this entire time. One person participating nonstop. So our friend Tyson in here, who was given his picks the entire time, came in with the DK Metcalf pick. Tyson, if you could email one moment, I'll get it written down for you. I forgot. If you could email contests@bettersportsnetwork.com, we're going to get you that free entry into the Real-Time Sports Basketball Championship for a chance to win up to $25,000. Congrats, my friend Tyson, and thanks for your suggestions during today's show. Woo!
No.
I got a little too hyped during that one. Got a little too worked up. But Gladys, that was so much fun. Appreciate you coming on and doing this very serious draft with us today.
Yes.
We got Bob Harris in the chat. Said, I think I'm past fashionably late. Yeah, it's just called late, Bob. But we'll restart the show for you. Simon from the top.
Okay, welcome in to the Fantasy Football Game Show. I'm your out-of-breath host, Simon.
Shit, let me get my jacket on.
Guys, we will post the results of this draft on Twitter for you to vote on and see who comes out on top. I have a feeling I tanked my draft with Kavontae Turpin, but maybe some Cowboys love out
Why do
there.
you feel that way?
Maybe it was the complete and utter silence from 3 people who had not stopped talking the entire time outside of that after I made the pick. Just like radio silence.
Okay.
All right, everybody watching, if you're not already following our friend Gladys, go and remedy that right now. She's on Twitter at Gladys L. Tyler. Not only a great fantasy football analyst, but incredibly funny and a great person to interact with as well. Gladys,
Thank you.
this was so much fun. The most fun I've had on one of these in a while. I appreciate you taking the time to come and draft with us.
I appreciate you guys having me here. I appreciate Maria. Thank you. Thank you. Tyson. Thank you.
And Maria down here saying, highly enjoyed this draft. Dame saying, congrats, Tyson. Chat excited to see it. And Jay said, Gladys with the dub. So they're already casting some votes in the chat. That is going to be it for us today, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 3 p.m. Eastern time, every day, Monday through Friday, for more fantasy football game show fun. Until then, though, we are out of here. Enjoy your Thursday afternoon, then evening, then night. And we'll see you guys on Thursday afternoon. Oh, it's
there you go.
Happy Thursday, and today's Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday.
Gosh,
from
see
the
you
top.
tomorrow, everyone.
Is this?
Oh, God. Sorry, Joey.
What?
More thing to say?
Was the sack bouncy, Joey?
Did